Thokozani. I am Pobadimo, the advocate of idlozi, and I welcome you to my channel once again. And thank you very much for choosing to view my video. Well, today I'll be talking about spiritual stationery because I did say that from spiritual triggers and all those things, I'll be dedicating a series of videos to spirituality basics so that at least you have an idea or insight if you are still on your spiritual journey, because I'm avoiding a thing of having to answer the same question all the time. You meet someone and they ask you, what does it mean? Like, we don't have time for that. We're moving up and we're trying to get our spiritual lives in order. So when it comes to spiritual stationery is important because now it plays a vital role and it helps you maneuver around your spiritual journey. But isn't that what I always say all the time? Because yes, everything is important, and once again, spirituality is very practical. You can never go wrong with that. So now you go to consult and you are being told that blue, buy and you buy those clothes, excuse me, and then uyozibeka emsamo wakho and zihleli lapho. I've seen things out here, people. Uyahamba uyovakasha emzini wabantu and makuyisikhathi sokulala abantu baphenduka be-princess die and imibhido yabo iya iclina, imicamelo iba la emkayini, kugcwala amabhayi ngaphansi. And why, you ask yourself, what the hell are you doing? And they be told, hayi bathe ngilale phezu kwawo, nizophathwa yintamo. Niloko nithi amadlozi in kanti niphethwe yintamo because ngicamela amabhayi ayi-50, or imisamo yenu seyiphenduka ama-Twin Towers igcwele amabhayi and you're not even not using them, you don't even know how to use them, and you're just becoming this, class factory. When nje ilapho nelapho azothengela ipink ehamba uyothenga. These things, you use them because they are part of your spiritual stationery. Izinto ezik-equipy. So now today I will touch on this for someone that is, spiritual, going on their spiritual journey, whatever the case might be. You're being told go buy these particular beads and all these other things. Let me tell you, beautiful person, Batinyanga is lapi, right? But what I'm here to tell you is that our healing is through our stationery, because the reason we wear these beads, the reason why we have amabai, the reason why, we do things in a particular way, that is our medication. We are self-medicating ourselves, because you might find that you are sick and you're not okay, and perhaps you're being told ukuthi faka certain type of beads, or idlozi lakho is continuously showing you certain type of beads in your dreams, and you'll be like, I was shown blue beads. You need to wear those beads because they will heal you. They will heal what is in your spirit. Because now remember, awukho umuthi wedlozi gogo. And for the meanwhile, okuliswa idlozi, you need to listen. That is why listening to your dreams is important, so that you can get everything that idlozi lakho needs you to get, so that you can at least be aligned. So now, we are living in a time where everything is just a mess. But it's important that you know that as a spiritual or gifted person, it's important that you are mentally, spiritually, and physically balanced, because uzowazi ukuthi ezinye izinto usebenzise kanjani, especially when it comes to le part le yamalapi and all these things. Once you identify your spiritual life, or you receive a spiritual awakening, you never go back to the person you were. And you need to know that we are tandaza, we are pasha, you fast, you do all those things because they are very relevant and vital to you moving forward and towards your spiritual growth. So in terms of amalapi, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you but say green because Zion or whatnot. Honey, there's so much going on in the spiritual realm. We don't have time for that. What if I'm not interested uguye Zion? What happens to me now? What I'm here to tell you is that spirituality is practical, and just like I explained and so is spirituality. You will always hear when you are gifted, you being told of good or those things serves as spiritual alignment, or rather helping you to identify and align yourself spiritually, because either you're going to use that cloth or or you're gonna use that cloth for you ukuthi ulithwale when you are doing izinto zakho zedlozi. Because now when you are asked ukuthi uthenge into so whatever these things, it is because now you are being identified spiritually, you're being given an identification, so that mangicala ngithinta izinto zami zabantu abadala, I can't just go there near crop top ngerara. I need to go there as presentable ngendlela idlozi, or rather spiritually I am identified by my people, right? So in terms of lela bileli elimhlophe or idugu elimhlophe, I did tell you that our energies are everywhere and energy is important. And because I will try and make it sound understandable, our crown chakra and our third eye, everything ilana phezulu. So now when you're being told ukuthi use idugu elimhlophe or eliyellow, it's always a case of enlightenment. And it's important that you do not just use that nje. You use that and you pray and uyaphahla ukuze izinto zakho zibe ngcono, or rather whatever you are praying towards makes sense in your spiritual life. Because now the thing is that people buy these things and as uber lazy and you don't use them, or you don't know how to use them, because you need to know that amalapi ahambelana namakhandlela. You cannot use amalapi ungathandazi noma ungaphahli, right? But for someone who is a spiritual, or rather on a spiritual beginner's field, the safest bet is that when you take your fasting or you want to communicate, whatever the case might be, when it comes to izinto zakho zedlozi, particularly you stick to your yellow and white candles, or just do your yellow candles if there is something in particular you're fasting for. Because I can refer back to my video I did on candles where I explained there. I will not go there again, the admin, but you get what I'm trying to say, so that at least you will identify ikhandlela olisebenzisayo and know ukuthi I'm using this type of a candle, so I can use this type of ilabi. For example, you're using amakhandlela ayelo for spiritual enlightenment, and you are using ilabi eli red, you know, or you are using ilabi eli blue. So now I don't want you to be here asking me lengthy questions as into what does this mean, what does this mean. Everything connects, everything is join the dots lana gwampoa badimu. Because now what I want you to understand is the basics of these things, to understand ukuthi. But I don't want you to think because you're being told go buy ilabeli red, because listen, asikuling okufana. We might be going through the same things, but asikuling okufana, because we have different destinations and different journeys we are being led to. So what works for me might not necessarily work for you. Just because I was told to buy ilabi yellow does not mean automatically, being called umborofita or whatever the case might be. I am using that for my spiritual enlightenment, because you need all colors in your life for balance. For example, I might be ukuthi ngaphahlela elabini elimnyama and be praying using a white candle or a black candle because I'm using a black cloth. It depends nakhona with your spiritual things. That is why I always say when I do a video, there's always topics in between topics, because I know people are just gonna go like headless chickens and lose it, and I don't want you to do that, because it's very practical. If uzoqala ukhanyise ibani zakho ezi all colors ne, and uzofaka idugu lakho elimhlophe, you need to know that you are speaking light into your life in every area of your life. If you're gonna use the yellow, you're speaking enlightenment. If you're gonna use the green, you're speaking growth. If you're gonna use the blue, you're speaking prosperity, growth, and spiritual prosperity. If you're gonna be using the orange, you're speaking abundance. That is why even Nama Baiwe to come in all colors, come in a variety of colors, because everything I remember Ngisatwasa, my Kobela would be like, it's a and I would look at him like, but my guy, baby girl has got black hair. Ne? Marasa ne? Okay, fine. It was got black. Like ilanga lina black. So it like I would sometimes feel good, sometimes it's always a case of monkey see, making do. And every color serves a purpose. I might take ila belly black and use it to heal someone, and I might take early blue and use it to do something else, and you might take it with your lawyer, because we are doing different things. The power is in your hands and what you choose to do with something. It does not necessarily mean that when you are doing something it's out of always a point of darkness. So it's not necessarily for you to be conflicted. Can you just be practical for once? Imagine a whole ancestor chilling on your neck, guys, nizogula niloko nimamelana nezinto enizithole estradini, uphethwe ihlombe bathi idlozi lakho lihleli ka left namhlanje. Like, what the hell? I would hear that exercising. For example, ngiphethwe inyawo that particular day, manje idlozi lakho lomndawo likhona. Why my leg? You could have been anywhere. Like, why my leg? But because as in you're being told to not ask in anything. So sometimes you might think it's that, but it's actually not. It is because your quality of your pillow is being frustrated because of la malap owagcwalise underneath umqamelo wakho. Or even ngelinye ilanga uzothola iroom lakho lisha because of lama lapho wagcwalise emsamo, because ngelinye ilanga ikhandlela lizodipha. It's not as though lama lapho mawagcwalise lapho awabogogo wakho mabagodola anginikeza ilapho elibovu lapho azimathi. No man, they are for you to use them. Kunezinto ongazitholisisi kahle in your life, or you need some form of clarity, uyahamba ulayita amakhandlela wakho uthathe ilapho lakho, because nakhona I always say kuya ngabantu, and sometimes the safest bet is to just have a white cloth. Have your white, your red, your yellow, and your black, should you need to do so. I understand that, because sometimes you might find ukuthi uyaphahla, maybe you at school and you're gifted, or whatever the case might be, and necessarily sometimes ukteli snake pants, you can't do that. So what do? Ustela on the cloth bese ilabilelo uyalala phezukalo ge, but hayi ukuthi like ulale ngathi manje you are about to lose your life or commit suicide because of that, because nambe nigula la bese nithi hayi ngaye sangomeni, and then nisikhulumisa kabi, So it's one of that is very relevant ukuthi nakhona you cannot just go anywhere uhamba uphahla, or sometimes even nasendlini uzothola ukuthi your family doesn't support your spiritual life, but you need to communicate and connect namadlozi akho. So the safest bet is that uphahlela on top of ilaphi lakho elimhlophe or eli yellow or eli red, because normally when sometimes you use leli red, especially if umuntu onobizo, especially ebungomeni, lithanda ukuthi livule izinto, noma usucela indlela ukuthi manje uliphuza uliphalaze, because now it's just a lot of things. So that's why I need to ask ngokufana. I might be using the red cloth because I am praying for something, or I am praying for particular protection empilweni yami, and sometimes even with the cloth, when you get the green one, you can add money, or a white one, ne? You can add money, ufaka ama-coin, ufake all coins, all notes. Like I said, ukuthi emsamo wakho it needs to have money, so it depends nakhona ukuthi umsamo wakho ustructure kanjani. But you can have ilapho elimhlophe whereby you put all the notes. If umuntu ohamba, you can put all notes wherever you've been, all currencies, and then or nama coin wonke, or just ulahlele nje, lahlela babes, lahlele, and then ulogo uthele nje isniff ubeke lapha emsamo. That is into ezibhekane nawe. You don't owe anyone an explanation, because people out here nihambe niqobane imsamo yabantu nizohuha. But anyway, so it's where we act ukuthi you need to understand that spirituality is practical. So even if you're being told ukuthi thengila beli kanje, or you dream of certain cloth, go and buy it, and how you use it is up to you. You can use it ulgqoke, you can use it uhlale ngale endlini ungathandaza ngalo, makiwe endaweni zinto zikamoya, you wear lezo zinto lezo, because that is a sign of who you are and what we identify with spiritually. So it's one of those things which you might buy and not understand how do I use it. You use that umuphahla, because angisho siyambathe depending on the situation, so you use lawo mabhayi lawo, because Even with beads, certain beads are there to serve a certain purpose in your life. You might find good right now you're wearing white beads and and automatically you dream of new color beads because azobe sewayifezile ipart yawo in your life. So now you need to get new colored beads because now usulashwa ngenye indlela, or rather you're on a new level in your spiritual life. Because trust me, ukuthwasa akupheli, and you need to worry yourself if you're being in one position for a very long time. You need to grow as a person, you need to develop, you need to find yourself, you need to identify who you are spiritually. So indaba yamalapi is very vast, and inakhona different strokes for different folks. So don't be that person obeka malapi and you don't necessarily know what to do with them. Kunamalapi that you do certain things with them, because that is why ngithi everything ihamba ngama level and with your spiritual growth and where you are and where you're going. You do not just do things because you see someone do them. You do them for they are your spiritual benefit. Ezinye izinto ziyafihlwa, ezinye izinto imfihlo, they just stay emsamo. You don't need to reiterate to people. And if I choose to have ila belly brown, I don't owe you an explanation. Automatically you don't have to think too much about it. I know why I need it, and I know why I use it. Because remember, wako kunomsamo ekhaya, but there is wako that is you, that speaks to you, that shows you who you are as a spiritual person. So it's a representation of who you are spiritually. You might find that ubegile all these things and it's not making sense, or you haven't even bought ilabi, whatever the case might be. I suggest, Guti, from this video, go buy yourself a pack of white candles and a pack of yellow candles. Uthenge yourself ilabi elimhlophe. Ungathenga i-1 meter, uphinde uthenge ne-2 meter. I-1 meter, if you're a male, uzophahlela phezu kwayo. And if you're female, uzothwala iduku uphahlele phezu kwaleli elinye. That is the safest bet, I always say, for you to connect namadlozi wako. But if you're being led to other colors or being led to other textures or types of amabai, feel free to do so, because that is also going to help you spiritually ukuthi ukhule as a person, so that ungahambi ufukwa amadlozi anyway and anyhow. Those things serves as a purpose, because uyakwazi ukuthi ukhulume nabantu bakho batshele ukuthi bogogo ngisaya kuphi and all of this. And don't make the mistake of ukuthi so thatha lamalaphu uyawarola ngoba namhlanje uyolala emntwini wakho. Don't do that. Oh, yemgruvini, don't do that. Like lamabai, they are sacred. They're being used for whatever they've been used for, and at that particular time. You don't disclose izinto nabantu. You don't need to be explaining to people that you are going through a spiritual journey. Esikhathini samanje, we all going through something, and be it whatever the case might be, but you need that. For example, if you are being told maybe you are going to get or maybe phahla, there's that feeling inside your spirit whereby it's humble phahla, maybe hambuye at a certain place. That is where all these things come into place. You find ukuthi eventually you start buying izinto like induku, even in a type of snake ziyahluka, because amadlozi to have different preferences. So with everything that you do, it comes with a spiritual growth, I can say, as a person. So don't be that person buying wonk amabai whenever you go to a chemist. When are you buying wonk amabai? At least know what you are buying for, because the problem is that being told to buy a certain buy and not knowing what to do with it. Now it becomes frustrating when you're on a spiritual journey. And if you know that you gifted and there's so many things you're not understanding about yourself, or you need particular light, then you also do the same thing. Like I told you, you use your yellow and white candles, and you pray and you fast. And you or onesipho ulazy ungafast ungathanazi ungazenzi zonke lezi zinto lezi. Some things you need to give, you need to sacrifice a bit of yourself for you, at least amadlozi wako, to actually guide you to a certain extent. And one thing I can tell you is that when it comes to spiritual things, if you're not a very, very patient person, my darling, usenkingeni, because there are people that waited for years and years and years. So if you are not patient, I honestly suggest that uyehle stuff success manje, because you honestly need to be very patient with spiritual things. But other than that, thank you so much for viewing my video, and I hope you're gonna take your spiritual lives very seriously and know that anything I am doing, it is setting motion to whatever it is you are working towards or what you want to see in the end result. You might just be watching this video and thinking, there's certain areas in my life I do not necessarily understand, or there's certain things. Go back to my video of candles, see what candles probably you can buy for yourself, and then go check maybe when I go to the chemist what kind of materials. Alternatively, you can order all these things I've been speaking about on my boutique. You can check it out on Instagram at Ubungoma Online Boutique, and you can just grab yourselves things that you need, because now we are moving up as people, and you need to know the basics of your life and your spiritual life moving forward. So it's one of those things that, like I stress it, it's important. Spirituality is practical. That is why I was told there's certain things we wear when you go to the water. There's certain things we wear when you go to the water, or mkitini. It's because everything serves its purpose. You find Gucci, even with some people, they wear beads, on their necks, on their shoulders, on their, anywhere. It's because whatever it is, they're serving purpose. That's how I always say some people wear beads up to here and don't necessarily understand what are the beads for. Sometimes it's always best to listen to idlozi, because if I'm gonna sit here and tell you Gucci, like what the hell? Like what? Like, oh my lozi, like what the hell? You just need to move with what is going on with you spiritually, because whatever it is, you wear it on your ankle, you wear it wherever, you wear it on your head, it is into esuke iprescribe idlozi lakho, so don't do things because man can see, man can do. And even with spirituality, there are certain, fraternities as ihlukile, because you cannot just come and wear certain type of beads when you are in a certain type of space. So that's why I'm saying it's important to understand your gift. But we'll get to that as soon as we are moving, keeping it moving with the spiritual things. I was busy as usual, but now I decided to make this time and give you this video. But I hope you're gonna appreciate it, and like I say, it's never goodbye. I'll definitely see you later. From me, the advocate of idlozi, it's always Thokozani. Bye. See you later.